was the 50s, right? So now moving on to the 60s, you know what I mean? Montgomery was good to me. Segregation was coming to an end, kinda. So black folks were not, you know, they wasn't keeping all the black folks in the same neighborhood. Not as much, you know, they still was there, but they were able to move a little bit more now. So black folks were able to get around. And so my barbershop started seeing a little effects because now, you know, before I had the spot because, you know, all the black folks had to live over here. So I put my shop over here. Now they're allowed to move all over, you know, it kind of hurt the business a little bit. So I said, you know what? I'm moving to Miami. I figure I'm going to lay me some sun, you know, let the fro get a little sun, you know, chill on the beach. Give me one of them little things with the little umbrellas on it. Well, that's right. You guys ain't old enough. You guys. Well, I got me a Kool-Aid with the umbrella. You know, and you know. So I moved to Miami. You know, opened a barbershop, and I had this little fella, this young fella from Kentucky used to come to my barbershop. He used to box, right? I called him Cassius. His name was Cassius Clay. You know, and I don't know why, but the boy had a strong name, Cassius Clay. I don't know if y'all know who Cassius Clay was, but Cassius Clay was somebody in the 1800s who fought to have slaves. It was a white man who fought to get slaves free. They called him abolitionists. He fought to, you know, help slaves get free. So they named him after, his dad was named Cassius actually, because he was Cassius Clay Jr., right? And he would box. Y'all probably know him by the name Muhammad Ali. How many know Muhammad Ali? Okay, y'all know Muhammad then. Okay, Muhammad Ali, right? So he would come in my shop. You know, Muhammad Ali always come in my shop. And you know, as you know, he went on, you know, boxing great, right? This dude won all these championships and all these titles. But what people don't know is that Rylo was there in the beginning. When he used to come to my shop, it was this little young dude from Kentucky. You know, people from Kentucky country. You know, nobody here from Kentucky, is there? Anybody from Kentucky? Anybody from Kentucky? Anybody from Michigan? Okay, I feel safe then. All right, that's cool. Well, Kentucky people country. And he would come to my shop talking about how pretty he was, right? And so he talking about, I'm pretty. I'm just so pretty. Pretty this, pretty that. And, you know, and I'm like, dang, dude, okay, we understand you pretty. But I didn't understand, if you pretty, how you pretty and be a boxer? See, because the dude who was a champion at the time was the opposite. This dude named Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was a big black guy who was ugly. I mean ugly, like ugly. You know what I mean? He was so ugly, even Ugg had to back away from the lead. You know what I mean? Well, Sonny Liston was ugly. I mean, but you know, but if you're a boxer, though, you gotta be ugly because you know you got a reason to fight. You know what I mean? Sonny Liston was that dude where he was just so ugly. I can see why he fought. He just fought because he had nothing better to do. You couldn't make him look no uglier than he already was. You know, but this dude was like, he was mob connected. And he was whipping folks. And you know, he got this young dude, Cassius Clay, you know, run his mouth all the time. So I'm pretty. So Cassius used to come in the barbershop, you know, and like Lil Martin back in Montgomery, I told Cassius, you need to man up. You know what I mean? Cassius talking about, what you talking about, man up? You know, and this is why I get mad with Muhammad, because he don't give me my credit, because he was like, man, I'm trying to fight Liston. I'm like, okay, so what's the problem? He said, Liston won't fight me. I told Muhammad, I said, you got to make him fight you. You got to go to where he be every day. If he eating at that restaurant down the street, go stand in front of the window and do like this. You know, just do like this. When he with his girl, blow kisses at her. Just make him so mad to where he want to fight, right? And Muhammad was like, man, you know. I said, dude, you already loud in country. What else you got to worry about? So next thing I know, I see him running down the street. Running behind Sonny Liston car, talking about, I'm pretty, I'm so pretty. You ugly, you know. And then I said, oh, he better watch out. He calling the man ugly. We all knew he was ugly, but you can't call somebody ugly. Even the ugly person don't want to hear that they're ugly. You know what it is. But you know, sometimes you just know. It's like when you have a big head, you already know you got a big head. You don't want nobody to tell you got a big head. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, you know, I told Muhammad, you know, he'd come in the shop. I said, hey, Muhammad, you need to chill out a little bit, you know what I mean? I said, I know you want to make him mad, but you make this dude, he gonna kill you. And Muhammad said, you know, I ain't scared, I ain't never scared. And I said, okay, you ain't never scared, huh? You know, you talking about you never scared. Nowadays, that's how them rappers talk. But these rappers couldn't stand a chance with Muhammad Ali. I think he'd whip half of them. But anyway, You know, he thought, well, he ain't never scared. I said, okay, well, you ain't scared, but I'm scared for you. You know what I mean? And you come to my barbershop, and you might ruin my clientele if you get whipped too bad. You come with this pretty face, it might mess up that fade of yours, you know. But Muhammad went on, he fought Liston. He fought Liston the first time, right? The fight went the distance. He beat Liston in the later rounds. And a lot of people said, well, it was a fluke. He was a young guy, he got lucky, right? You know, Muhammad come to the shop. He said, Liston want a rematch. I'm like, dude, you got lucky the first time, man. Forget a rematch. Fight somebody else. You know, he's like, nah, man, I got to shut this joke up. This joke talking about that I got lucky. He said, this time I got to punish him for real, right? So I'm like, all right, man, you talking some tough stuff. You better back it up, you know. So he went and fought Liston the second time. And he became famous when he fought Liston, because after he knocked Liston out, there's a famous picture of Muhammad Ali, you probably can see it online. He knocked Liston out, and when he hit him, he was standing over him like this. I don't care who you is, me, I know as a man, if I get knocked out and you standing over me, that's a bad feeling. You know, you looking up at somebody who just knocked you out and they just looking at you like a little kid. You know, and Muhammad was looking at him like this. Like, I told you so. You know, I felt bad for Liston, you know what I mean? I felt bad. I even called Liston, and you know me. I called Liston, I told him, you know what? I said, Sonny, man, don't feel bad. We all get knocked out once in a while. He said, have you ever been knocked out? I said, no. He said, how you going to tell me y'all get knocked out? I said, because when you got knocked out, I felt like I got knocked out. I said, Muhammad knocked out every black person in this country when he knocked you out. You know, and you know, Sonny didn't think that was funny. But, you know, the thing that gets me with Muhammad is, you know, after he beat Liston, the Vietnam thing came up, you know, where they asked him to go to Vietnam and stuff, right? And now he became Muhammad Ali. He changed his name to Muhammad Ali. You know, he got into the religion stuff, different religion stuff, and he changed his name to Muhammad Ali, right? And he got drafted. You know, back in the day, they still do a draft, but it's not like it used to be. Back in the day, every man, when you turned 18, had to sign up for selective service. Now, see, Rylo, I'm slick, because there's a loophole. If you go into school, like college and stuff, you can't get drafted, right? So, Rylo, I went down to the little local junior college, and I signed up for a couple classes. I never stepped in foot in one of those classes, but I still kept my name on the roll. You know, I paid that money. I don't care. I paid that couple $50 here, you know, to get my name on somebody's attendance sheet. You know what I mean? I felt sorry for that poor teacher, because she probably say every day, Rylo Gump. He paid his money, you know. But that stopped me from going to war. I can't say the same for like people like Muhammad and other people. So when it came time to go Vietnam, Muhammad said, I ain't going. You know, and a lot of people got mad with him. They said, how you say you ain't going? He said, I ain't going. He said, what did the kid? He said, people in Vietnam, they called them Vietnamese, and the fighters were called Viet Cong, right? He said, I ain't got nothing against the Viet Cong. What did the Viet Cong do to me? He said, I'm more scared of walking around here in America than I am Vietnam, right? Because remember, this is the late 60s, where I know segregation is like still kind of fresh gone. You know, so with anything, you know, when it's freshly gone, it's like if you get in a fight with somebody, and I know everybody say they cool, but they still got like that bad blood left. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about? You ever get in an argument with somebody, and even though y'all make up, but you still got like that little bad blood. Just if they say one more thing wrong to you, it might kick back up again.
Yeah, but
yes, that's kind of how it was with segregation. Where it was over, but we still had it it still was there, because you know people just don't forget stuff, like, you know, and we human. So people, you know what I mean, if I thought that you wasn't equal to me yesterday, in 2 days I'm not going to think that you're equal to me. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm sorry, it just, you know, it takes time. You know what I mean? That's why I'm glad to see as time progressed, you know, we got to see people, you know, changing that. People don't always think like that. You know what I mean? Actually, a lot of people think a lot different than that nowadays. More people think about people as being people, not so much as color. You know what I mean? People don't see color like they used to back then, you know. But Muhammad at the time, he said, I ain't going to Vietnam. So they said, you know what? Not only are we going to take your boxing championship, we going to send you to prison. Now see, this is when I told Muhammad, I said, dog, look, I understand you trying to stand up for something that's good. They trying to send you to prison. Remember, you the one that said you pretty. That's all I got to say. You know, and pretty people don't do well in prison. You know what I mean? So that's all I said. I said, Muhammad, you always holler about how pretty you is, you all on the TVs talk about how pretty you is, and I'm sure them dudes in prison watch TV, so you know, you might want to rethink that. I told him, I said, I know you good with your hands, but them dudes in prison, man, they ain't got nothing to do but fight, you know. So they fight for a living, you know. They fight over a piece of bread, you know. You gonna eat that cornbread? Yeah, I'm gonna eat it. Bam! My cornbread. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got to put up against that. You used to having filet mignon every day. You know what I mean? You got money, so you living a good life now, you know. And so Muhammad said, you know, Muhammad looked at me. He said, you know, Rylo, I feel you, man, but I got to do what I got to do. He said, the Viet Cong ain't never did nothing to me. He said, because if I go overseas to fight, they going to say, kill that American. They're not going to say, kill that black man, kill that white man. They're going to say, kill that American. He said, so if I'm going overseas and somebody trying to kill me for being American, I at least should feel safe here in America. When he said that, I had to back off. I said, I understand what you're saying because I don't even feel safe here in America. You know what I mean? Sometimes in certain neighborhoods, I have to, you know, try to hide the fro because if they see a black man in their neighborhood, and unfortunately, that's how it was then. If they see a black man in the neighborhood, you might get hit with a rock or something. You know what I mean? You know, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad, but that's the time. You know, how the times was. Like I said, that's why I'm glad to see. You know, nowadays, I go in a white neighborhood, they don't throw nothing at me. They just say, "Dude, the fro is gone. Let it go." But they don't understand this fro can never go. Anyway,
can never go.
You know what? So Muhammad got successful and all that. I remember Muhammad was gonna fight George Foreman. Anybody know George Foreman?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The dude that's always selling the grills.
Yeah.
Now, peep this. This is why me and Muhammad don't get along. Muhammad told me he was going to Africa. And I'm like, man, what is with these dudes? First, Ben said he was going to Africa. Now, Muhammad said he's going back to Africa. See, because I don't know if you understand this, but at that time, that's what folks used to yell at us. Like, people who was racist would always yell, go back to Africa. You know what I mean? Like, we actually had a choice. You know, like, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know what I mean? I never really actually talked to a slave, but in my opinion, based on what they had to go through once they got here, I don't think none of them actually signed up for that boat ride. You know what I mean? You know, that's just my opinion. I don't think they signed up for that boat ride, but, you know, it's a different story. So when people will yell to you, go back to Africa, it sounds good, but I can't go back to Africa. I don't know nothing about Africa. I've been in America. You know what I mean? I don't speak African. I speak American. You know, so, and one thing, where can I go back to Africa? Because I don't know where I came from in Africa. You know what I mean? You know, I might go to a tribe that don't like freckles. So I can't go to Africa. They might be like looking at me like, you know. So I'm like, you know what? I don't like America, but as much as I don't like America, this got to be better than going back someplace I don't even know. At least I know America. I know where I can hide, you know, and be safe. I got my barbershop. I can at least work in my barbershop and make my money. Africa, I'm sure they got barbershops, but I don't know nothing about them. That's like going to a new city. You know, I already just moved to Miami, so I'm not trying to go to a new city. I'm like, man, I'm just getting comfortable. I'm loving Miami. You know, seeing the beaches and the beautiful women. And I'm sorry, but, you know, Miami just, you know, you got beaches, and so you got everybody walk around half dressed. But that's their culture. You know what I mean? They got the weather for it. You could try it here in Michigan, but I wouldn't suggest it. Like, rest me right now, because I can't see you walking too far without being frozen to death. But, you know, that's why I moved to Miami, so I could be in that weather like that. And so I was down in Miami, and he told me he was going to Africa to fight George Foreman. Now, I know y'all see George Foreman, some little fat, lovable guy that sell phones. But the young George Foreman, I don't know if you ever seen the young George Foreman. Young George Foreman was tall, slim, and built. And when he fought, he knocked folks out. George Foreman, I think every fight he fought, he knocked the dude out. If he didn't knock the dude out, the dude wanted to be knocked out. I think I seen one time I watched a George Foreman fight, and the fight didn't even start. You know, you walk to the middle of the ring, and you hit each other gloves. I ain't talking about like no Floyd Mayweather sucker punch stuff. You know what I mean? I'm talking about when you go to hit each other gloves like that before you fight. I seen the dude one time, they hit gloves like this. That's all Foreman did, hit his gloves. The dude just fell like that. I said, dang, dude, you got to at least make it real. Let him swing at you first, you know. So nobody really wanted to fight Foreman because he was a hard hitter, you know what I mean? And, you know, Muhammad, That's Pretty Boy. Muhammad always hollered out how pretty he is. So I was like, look, man, you got lucky you beat Liston. You beat Frazier a couple times. Now, this Foreman cat, man, he breaking folks' jaws. I mean, he hit folks so hard their mama even start crying. You know, like I said, I mean, it's like, I told Muhammad, I said, look, Muhammad, you hit Liston hard. And black folks, when you hit Liston, black folks are like this. Ooh. When we're Foreman hit people, black folks just pass out. You know, that's how hard he hit. Muhammad said, you know what can I do, Rylo? What do you suggest I do? I said, well, don't let him hit you. He said, come on, man, it's boxing. How can I not let him hit me? And at the time, you know, I was working on this new dance I was practicing. You know how dances come back. Dances, you know, I don't know if you know this, but dances start back here. 20 years later, some little young kids see their parents doing the dance, and they want to do the dance. And then next thing you know, the dance become all famous again. Like, I know people, you know, like, hey, who in here know how to duck? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. I see a couple hands sitting on the Dougie. Okay, look at you. Dougie owns your bad self. You know, but I don't know if you know, but the Dougie started back in the 80s with Dougie Fresh. You know, that's why it's called Teach Me How to Dougie. Dougie Fresh would do the Dougie and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But, see, so dances.
Rylo. Okay, here. And Jackson the camera.
Why?
He's about to make you do it. He's about to make you do it.
My legs hurt. Give me it.
We don't do the Dougie for Rylo. We don't have any music, but can we get a kind of groove going for the clapping?
I can't really do the Dougie, so you're going to have to, come on, show me how to do the Dougie.
on my iPod.
Show me how to do the Dougie.
I have it on my iPod.
You have what on your iPod?
The Dougie.
Get it.
Teach me how to do it.
Don't look at me.
Come on.
Don't look at you. We gotta teach.
She gonna have this on camera. Don't worry.
Now, come on, Rylo really, hey, Rylo don't dance. So if I'm really trying to do the Dougie, you got to do the Dougie.
Now this is what you taught Ali, Rylo?
It's kind. No, I didn't teach Ali the Dougie. I'm sorry.
Stop.
I didn't teach Ali the Dougie.
Right. Okay.
I taught Ali another dance.
Turn it up so we can hear it.
This is as far as it can go up.
Okay.
All right, there. I'm done.
Okay. She did the Dougie. She didn't do the one part though when you go like
Oh,
this.
you did it.
Yeah, do the. There you go. Yeah. See? Alright, well, Dougie Fresh, you know, Dougie Fresh had an ego issue, so he would always wave his hand in his hair like a girl. But you know, I ain't talking about that. But anyway, actually, I taught him a different dance. This dude called Fat Joe, he actually watched old clips of me in the club doing my dance. Remember, Rylo don't dance, so I just be in the club, I just be like this, you know.
Charlene.
So Muhammad said, you know, what should I do, Rylo? I said, I don't know about you. I said, but the way Foreman swing, I said, if I was you, I'd get close to the ropes and just do like this. You know, lean back. You know, so Muhammad took my advice. He fought him in Africa for like the first 9 rounds. He leaned against the ropes. Old Foreman got tired after about, 9 rounds. Foreman, he like, he couldn't even swing no more, right? Muhammad went to work on him. I said, man, look at Muhammad go. You know, Muhammad, he whipped him. Muhammad Ali whipped him so bad, it was so funny. I was like, man. And it's funny to watch a bully get whipped. Because Foreman was a bully. So, you know, everybody wants to see the bully get whipped. You know what I mean? So he whipped that bully. Everybody was like, yeah, you know, he hit him. See, this was the thing. Now, this is where me and Muhammad have our issues. I didn't call it the lean back, and I didn't call it the rope-a-dope. I call it the Rylo slide. He called it the rope-a-dope. Now it's some kind of famous move they're trying to teach people in boxing school, but nobody else can do it. Muhammad was the only one that could do it because he was the only one quick enough to do it. But I never got credit for that. Every time Muhammad is in an interview, they asked him when he beat Foreman, where did he get the rope-a-dope from? He talked about some, oh yeah, it was a spontaneous thing. I noticed how fast he was swinging, so I just was moving. I was using ropes to balance off of. And I'm like, looking at the TV like, hey.